State Transient Service, which originated early in October 1933, developed adequate facilities for the care of transients, which included 3 family centers at Wichita, Topeka, and Kansas City, and 9 centers for unattached men, 4 of which were work camps located at the Wabaunsee, Howard, Sedan, and Gardner Lake projects. This dam is being built near Eskridge in Wabaunsee County, and the lake will be created over land owned by the State Forestry, Fish, and Game Commission, who will take charge and maintain for their special purposes when all construction work is completed. Such permanent buildings as the Superintendent's House will be used by the Commission for housing their staff. A treatment center was a place approved by the Kansas Emergency Relief Committee where non-resident individuals or families were detained for medical treatment, employment, or any other means of bringing about a temporary stabilization until they might be returned to a normal society. One of its chief purposes was that of relieving a state of the burden of caring for persons of another state, for whom the first state had no responsibility. Centers for men had shelters, where men were grouped together and where they might work out their board and lodging until they could find employment or made other adjustments. After about a year of preparatory work on the dam and lake site, the arrival of heavy machinery in the spring of 1935 allowed the actual removal of dirt to get underway. These panoramic scenes and straight views show to what extent the work has progressed over the area that will later be occupied by the completed dam. The earth-filled dam of 350,000 cubic yards of embankment will impound 3,457 acre-feet of water spread over an area of 201 surface acres. The various types of transient persons include the non-resident unemployed man who is new to the road and who is seeking a position to replace the one which the Depression eliminated in his home locality, the migratory worker who may or may not be a hobo, one of a roving army of workers who is willing to do any type of work in any section of the country, the sick transient, and the homeless boy who hitchhikes or rides freight in and out of cities. Many of these persons are ex-veterans who have not settled down since the World War. Able-bodied men applying at any treatment center were encouraged to go to the transient camps in the nearest county where they would receive complete subsistence and medical treatment and would have a chance to gain some extra money for traveling to their homes and for other purposes in return for work on various projects. The regular monthly census showed the ages of the men registering to be from 14 to 73 years with a medium of 40 years. 2/3 were migratory laborers, a few being skilled construction men. The other third was composed of young men of all types of training, besides many youths who had never worked at any regular trade or occupation. Many said they would like to get jobs with regular hours of work, recreation, and sleep. After 30 or 40 years of steady work, they were unable to adjust themselves to their enforced leisure and insecurity. In all cases, whenever possible, an attempt was made to provide a continuous supply of work on worthwhile projects so that persons applying for service would get a chance to work decently for the amount of service extended, even if it were only supper, a bed, and breakfast. Efforts were made to provide as high type of job as possible. The construction of this camp was started under CWA and later carried on by transient labor and occupied as rapidly as the buildings were completed. Residents in communities where transient treatment centers were established, who feared that their homes would be overrun by scores of hobos, have found the transients to be a well-behaved group of men who have caused no disturbances and who take great pride in the work they have accomplished. Recreation projects and leisure time activities seem to be as beneficial toward assisting the migratory persons as any other form of stabilization. Various types involving both physical and mental activity were established. Assistance was rendered by various groups and private organizations to make certain types of recreation possible. Since the organization of the State Transient Service in October 1933, 65,000 transient cases, including families and unattached individuals, have received assistance. Near Gardner, Johnson County, another State Forestry Fish and Game Commission lake is under construction. This camp has not been established as long as Wabaunsee, but considerable preparatory work has been accomplished, as well as the foundation work for the 300,000 cubic yard earth-fill dam. Heavy machinery was installed at about the same time as at Wabaunsee and has been utilized in preparation of the lake site by the removal of trees and stumps, changing of the creek channel, and the clearing of borrow pits and spillway outlets. A considerable amount of stone has been removed, which was within the limits of the dam proper. The northern end of the dam, where it connects with the bluff, has been prepared for actual earth fill by channeling and benching the ledge rock and the removal of excavated rock to a stockpile ready for crushing for concrete and road construction. In addition to the work just mentioned, excavation for the outlet box and actual construction of a part of the box has been completed. During adverse weather conditions which prohibited the actual handling of earth, the men were employed in clearing the park area, producing wood for the camp, construction of additional huts, and other camp necessities. When completed, the dam will impound 2,920